So all of you energized from the lunch session? Yes? Lunch, post-lunch has to be an energy session. Not like everyone says कि a lousy session. It has to be energy session. Can we have a loud yes? चलो ठीक है, आप लोग का loud yes नहीं निकल रहा है, तो मैं अब आपको बताती हूँ क्या टॉपिक होने वाला है, उससे शायद आपको और ज़्यादा एनर्जी मिले. So now we are going to have the most important topic addressed, which is the pain point of every MSME. Any guesses? What is the pain point for every MSME? Funding, right. 100 marks for you. So, what is your name? So, Mr. Mojumdar gets an award from our president, sir. Now, okay. Mr. Mojumdar. Okay. So, now we move on to our very important session, which is bank financing and funding opportunities for MSMEs. अच्छा, एक चीज़ आपने नोटिस की कि अचानक से मेरी हाइट बढ़ गई? Yes or no? इन्होंने मुझे टूल दे दिया, स्टूल. So this is what a bank is to an MSME. आप जहाँ पे हैं, अगर आपको ऊंचा होना है, तो they will give you the platform to raise yourself. Right? So every banker is a support partner to MSME. It's just that we also need to change our paradigm कि bankers are there to help us, because most of the MSMEs अगर उनसे बात की जाए तो वो लोग कहते हैं कि कुछ मिलता नहीं है, घुमाते रहते हैं, डॉक्यूमेंट्स जमा करना पड़ता है और हम लोग घूमते रहते हैं. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है फ्रेंड्स. पिक्चर बहुत चेंज हो गई है एंड पैराडाइम्स चेंज हो गए हैं, नज़रिया चेंज हो गया है. अब वो मदर इंडिया वाले मनसुख लाल नहीं है. अभी हम लोग के ओन फ्रेंडली बैंकर्स हैं और आज हम लोग के साथ मौजूद हैं यूको बैंक, SBI बैंक, और इन लोग सब के साथ मॉडरेशन में हम लोग के अपने ट्रेजरर, CMA के ट्रेजरर मिस्टर विभोर टंडन. सो नाउ आई विल बी इन्वाइटिंग ऑल द डिग्निटरीज ऑन द डायस for our next session, access to finance and funding by banks and NBFC. We have with us Mr. Prem Shankar Jha, General Manager, UCO Bank. Thank you, sir, for giving us the privilege. Mr. Rajneesh Kumar from State Bank of India, and Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee from MD and CEO of ICRA Analytics. To moderate the session, we have with us Mr. Vibhor Tandon, who is the Treasurer of CMA. Over to you, sir.
I'm really happy and elated at this moment to be part of this very, very important session. See, as we were discussing earlier, if there are to be some very, very important pillars for MSMEs, then these pillars, when we talk about the most important pillars based on which the MSMEs can really elevate, they can take the next year and they can really become unicorns. What exactly are those pillars? Of course, the first one is uniqueness. What exactly is a USP? The second, again, a very, very important one is scalability, whether your business is scalable or not. The third one is outreach. And fourth, but I believe today everybody's concern is finance. And that is primarily the reason why I believe that this session is probably one of the most important sessions when it comes to the growth and development of MSMEs. We have a gathering of very esteemed guests today, people who are really doyens of the industry when it comes to finance. I'll start off by introducing our esteemed guests on the dais who are part of this session as well. We are pleased to have Shri Prem Shankar Jha, who is the GM of UCO Bank. And welcome, sir, welcome on board. And Shri Prem Shankar Jha is presently heading the MSME vertical of the UCO Bank, prior to which he was the zonal head of the Jaipur zone of UCO Bank. Earlier, he was the chairman of Bihar Grameen Bank and a director on board the Paschim Bang Grameen Bank. He has also served as a DGM Retail Banking Development. During his career, he has, as a matter of fact, worked with in different capacities across the country and, of course, exhibited different capabilities. He joined UCO Bank as a senior manager in 2007 and has around 26 years of rich and diverse experience in marketing, retail banking of MSMEs and banking operations. Welcome on board. I request you to give a very big round of applause for him to have taken out his time. Our second eminent guest here, very important one of course, is Shri Rajneesh Kumar, who has assumed the charge of the Deputy General Manager of SME Business Unit, Calcutta of the State Bank of India. Shri Kumar started his career in the State Bank of India as a probationary officer in 2000 and worked across multiple domains, having a career spanning over 2 decades. He of course has rich experience in all facets of banking and held very senior and key positions and assignments in the bank, such as the DGM, Banking Business and Operations, Regional Manager. He also has 6 years, he was a relationship manager at SME for 6 years and having a vast experience in retail banking with a strong knowledge of credit in the industry. He was also posted in Hong Kong on an overseas assignment. Welcome on board, sir. And I would request the audience to give a round of applause for our eminent dignitary again. We also have today with us another very, very special dignitary. He is Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee, from ICRA. There is this agency all of us have heard about, and there was one time when we all used to invest in FDs and used to really, really worry about ratings, and ICRA came up very, very helpful at that time. So Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee has more than 33 years of rich experience, of which he has spent 28 years with ICRA. He has a strong experience in business development in financial services, having worked across various regions in India. His previous role was that of Executive Vice President and Head, Strategic and Emerging Corporates Group at ICRA Limited, where he helped grow ICRA's business in the emerging corporate segment. Prior to ICRA, he has worked for 5 years in Tata Steel in the marketing division and was a core member of this Special Steels marketing group. A very, very warm welcome to you, Jayanta sir, and I request again the audience to give a round of applause for him. So with our esteemed guests here, we will of course be discussing the most important factor when it comes to SMEs. Somebody was saying the pain point. I would say it is not really the pain point, but I would say it is one of the most important pillars based on which there can be huge development, elevation and growth of all the SMEs. So when it comes to access to finance and funding by banks and NBFCs, I strongly believe that NBFCs, the SMEs contribute significantly even to the GDP as such. And as a matter of fact, more than a major percentage of the GDP is contributed by the unorganized sector and the small and medium sector enterprises as well. I believe that over the last few years, every bank has taken and every institution has taken very significant steps in the direction to empower these SMEs. I would request Shri Rajneesh ji to probably share his views on how State Bank of India is looking at this particular issue, which is not only a challenge but also a big, big opportunity. So I would request, sir, if you can take that mic and share your views on this particular issue.
Thank you, sir, and I'm privileged to be here as being a speaker here about MSME, development of MSME. A lot of MSME units are, entrepreneurs are here. They know that how MSME has been contributing. Everybody knows it. It's almost more than 30% GDP contribution, but more than that, this is a employment generating stream. See, we lost any developed economy is almost developed through agrarian to manufacturing, and then it has moved to service. Here it is, in India, it has been a bit of, sorry state, we could not be that much developed in MSME, but last 10-15 years, 15-20 years, this focus has again come in. And this is going to not only giving you opportunity for growth, but as well as this is the opportunity for different service industries also. Because once you are there as MSME, a lot of service industries are depending upon you only. See, whatever services industries are there, they are also somewhere once economy is growing, then only that can be growth. So banks are here, like earlier these banks, before this, you can say millennium, earlier the banks were known for agri or SME only. Retail was a very, very small segment of any bank's book of advances. But in between growth of retail loans, opening of economy has given a growth of retail loans, home loans, as well as different. But somewhere SME has got a bit of backseat. That's why we are again discussing this is a somewhere ki, some people are saying yeah, सबसे important के अलावा pain point भी ये है. But it's not a pain point. There are like, we are here to bridge the gaps. We as a bankers are here to bridge the gap, whatever your idea of business and final product and sale, in between we are here to, for your growth, and no banks can be denied for this, can deny this. This is not our objective. This is basic objective of any banker, any banks, be it private sector, be it public sector or any NBFC. They can grow by this only. Without growing this, even retail will not grow, because somewhere ultimate next market is once somebody has got disposable income, then only he can go for something. So this is the prime most factor of any advances book of any bank or NBFC. This is the first fact which everybody acknowledges and appreciate also. As a banker, we appreciate it and we work on it. Yes, there were different things, like there are perceptions, yes, number of papers and all. But I suppose the basic thing is that there is a gap in knowledge about how to go for funding. This is the basic. कि we are still somewhere like कि loan लेने जाना है, but आज भी if we provide checklist to even bigger company where some chartered accountant, then also we are not able to get the same paper. There are some certain set of paper everybody needs to process any loan. But there we somewhere dependent upon our consultant. Or as an entrepreneur, I feel that everybody should be knowing about these are the basic papers. Normally these are the basic papers which are required. And accordingly, if entrepreneurs himself discuss these things with banker, it will be more useful for everybody, both parties. So gap of knowledge is there. See, मैं पेपर है, फिर वो कोई कंसल्टेंट बताएगा या थ्रू कंसल्टेंट जाएंगे या कोई आपका टैक्स कंसल्टेंट होगा जो आपकी बैलेंस शीट बना रहा है. So once you understand these things, automatically you are also feeling that yes, कोई भी business करने के लिए you need that basic knowledge of finance, which is very much needed. And second thing, once my business is growing, we tend to forget that I have to see. Everybody knows that any fixed asset there is a depreciation. Depreciation means there is reducing of some value. But whether you know that your machine is going to be decline in 5, 7 years, 10 years, or technology will be there. Whether then again you will be requiring some funds. Whether you are growing your balance sheet that way, whether you are having capital of that new machine, your margin will again be asked for. So these are the two factors where whenever you are growing, you need to. हिंदुस्तान की पुरानी है सर, सारे धर्म ग्रंथों में लिखा, अगर आप 100 रुपए कमाते हो तो 20 रुपए अलग रखो. कई बार हम ग्रोथ के उसमें so many time we invest there only, बिजनेस में फंस जाता है, फिर लगता है कि नहीं यार अभी क्या करेंगे. And then these are the different things come कि डाइवर्जन हो गया या कुछ हो गया, पैसा इधर का, अब पैसे नहीं है, ग्रोथ कैसे करे, बैंक सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है. Bank is also like contribution is both side. Bank always asks for, everybody knows that contribution should be there. So these are the two important factors which I feel ki once you are growing, don't forget that you need further growth. For that you need further capital. So you need to keep a bit of capital aside for. That's why we say that this is your net worth has to be growing and that capital has to be growing. And third thing where sometime we in process of growth we forget that यार मुझे नई टेरिटरीज में जाते मेरे डेटर बढ़ जाते हैं जहाँ से 6 महीने में आ रहा है, अगर आपकी अगर कॉस्ट यहाँ पर किसी फंड की 10% है, 6 महीने बाद मिल रहा है पैसा और 3 महीने बाद दे रहा है, तो आपका उसमें कितना नुकसान हो गया, नहीं डायरेक्ट। तो दीज आर द बेसिक फैक्टर। वहाँ पे कई बार आपको लगता है कि यार ये बैंक बहुत मांगता है, स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट में बोलता है कि 3 महीने के ऊपर की रिसीवेबल्स को फंडिंग नहीं होती, बट दिस इज समथिंग आपकी नज़र जाएगी जब आप स्टॉक्स में। तो आई हैव सीन इन सेवरल ईयर ऑफ माई MSME फंडिंग, प्रमोटर्स आर नॉट नोइंग व्हेन वी मेड देम अवेयर, दे आर ये तुम्हारा ये पैसा रुका हुआ है, इसको मांगो, इसको डिमांड करना पड़ेगा। ये कई चीज़ें हम भूल जाते हैं बिजनेस की ग्रोथ में। सो दिस इज समथिंग MSME की ग्रोथ के लिए बेसिक फैक्टर है इन माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू।
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स इनफैक्ट रेज्ड बाय रजनीश जी। जो उन्होंने सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात बताई वो ये थी कि बैंक्स तो आपके लिए हैं, लेकिन अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना, इस बात को जानना, इस जानकारी को पूरे MSME के जितना भी लैंडस्केप है और जितने भी MSME के इसमें मेंबर्स हैं, जितने भी MSMEs हैं अक्रॉस द इंटायर कंट्री, उनको ये जानकारी प्रोवाइड करना कि किस तरह से बैंक्स आपको हेल्प कर सकते हैं। अगर वो जानकारी ही नहीं होती है तो फिर आपके लिए बड़ी मुश्किल है। तो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात उन्होंने बताई, अवेयरनेस, which is very important for MSMEs, creating that awareness about the SME banking, which is available, the support which banks can give you in different areas by, in terms of loans, in terms of working capital requirements, etc. And of course, a very important point which you talked about is fiscal prudence. When you are running an organization, being part of an accelerator, we also mentor around 12 or 13 startups. And I believe the biggest challenge, if you talk about a startup or an MSME, the biggest challenge, the first one is of course the mindset, and the second is fiscal prudence. So I agree with Rajneesh ji, very valid point, thank you so much. We move on to Shri Prem Shankar Jha. Sir, Mr. Jha would also agree that UCO Bank has played a very important role when it comes to the SME banking, or helping out the small borrowers, the small stakeholders when it comes to the eastern region as well as the other regions in India. तो सर वो दो कौन सी इंपॉर्टेंट बातें होंगी जो आपके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है बैंकिंग के बारे में, जिसमें कि MSMEs के लिए MSMEs का फाइनेंस की जब बात आती है तो आपके हिसाब से वो 2 या 3 सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स कौन से होंगे जो ध्यान में रखने चाहिए, या थोड़ा सा आप और बताएं कि यूको बैंक क्या क्या कर रहा है? जी सर, प्लीज सर, प्लीज सर.
All can see me and I'll also feel a little bit comfortable. So yeah, this is great opportunity. So I first thank the CMA who invited me as a speaker, though I was not committed because I was traveling outside. So I came today, I have other engagement, but I cannot desist not to come because this is such kind of the forum where of course with your growth, UCO Bank growth is also associated. So I'll come directly on the topic, access to finance and funding by banks and NBFC. Yes, we all know MSMEs are credit starved. And since the organized sectors are not in a position, organized players are not in a position to fund sufficiently, so they have to go here and there and mostly to money lender, not to be quoted. So hence, what is the opportunity for funding? Because you know, MSMEs are the backbone of the country. Other speaker also talked that the major contribution in India, GDP by MSME only, it is more than 30%, and in export, more than 40%, and employment, that is most important, because now, day by day, in government sector, employment is reducing. So, you are the person sitting before me who are employment creator. And this is the most important thing in our life, that we are creating employment, we are not searching employment. So I think this is the greatest thing the MSME is doing in country. Again, if I go the GDP number of the first half of the current financial year, so it was around 7.6%, and you will see that there is a gradual shift towards the manufacturing sector. India was earlier agri-based economy, then the space got occupied by the services sector, and now in the first half year, they majorly contributed by the manufacturing sector. And most of manufacturing units are MSMEs, because after the change of the definition of the MSMEs, which you all are aware, so 98% enterprises of the country became MSME. Even big corporates, whosoever today, once upon a time, they were also MSME. So today you are MSME, micro, maybe a small, medium, tomorrow you can also become the big corporate. Or these MSMEs are the supplier of the today's big corporate. Hence manufacturing contribution is increasing. Of course, there is the steps by the state as well as the central government. Now, how you can approach for funding? I'm talking in the perspective of UCO Bank, but you do agree that almost all public sector banks having the plus minus the same setup. So how you can approach for loan? You can approach physically. We have 2-3 channels. One channel is the branch, that is the brick and mortar, and second is the hub. So somewhere it is SME hub, somewhere it is MSME hub. So public sector banks here and there, the pattern is same. So you can approach personally over there to get loan. Now the second model. Second model is the online application. You can put online application. Almost all banks made facility available through website or through mobile banking app. So a customer can apply over there, putting the basic information, and you will be contacted by the bankers. Next, Government of India launched 2 portal, 1, 2, 3 years back, that is PSB 59 minutes, and last year, that is Jan Samarth portal. And it is regarded that in future all government portals will be subsumed in the Jan Samarth portal. So for the entrepreneurs like you, central government will make available single portal. For everything you have to go there. You apply loan, you claim subsidy, you update your information, you can do there. Apart from that, state governments having also several portals. Each state government having the different portals. So you can apply over there and you will be contacted. Today I can tell you that if some customer is applying to us, my team members are either from HO or branch or hub contacting to the customers. If your proposal is viable, it will be processed. Otherwise, you will be informed, sir, this is the deficiency. You remove the deficiency, then you resubmit. Then the next level, in bank, almost all banks made MSME, specialized branches, a startup sale, like kind of the facility to facilitate MSME. The important things is your business model, idea, plan. Now, what product available for you? Government given you product from PM Sonidhi to a startup. So from 10,000 to 10 crore. And I believe that from you all, most of the heading micro enterprises, a few only small. Because in India, around 56,000 enterprises are only the medium. Because micro definition is the turnover up to 5 crore. And investment in plant machinery or equipment is 1 crore. So most of enterprises falling under the ambit of the micro. So very inception I told, 98% enterprises of the country falls under the category of micro. So 10,000 to 10 crore, your issue will be taken care by the bank. These are the government schemes. I will quote PM Sonidhi. Then अपने राज्य में मुख्यमंत्री जी का बहुत इच्छित स्कीम है, दैट इज वेस्ट बंगाल भविष्य क्रेडिट कार्ड. देन प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा योजना हैविंग 3 variants, the शिशु तरुण किशोर, PMEGP, you can avail loan. Earlier there was a restrictions of 1 crore, but that restrictions now removed. Only thing is up to 50 lakh there is a subsidy. After that the bank can fund, or on that amount you will not get subsidy. Then a Stand Up India and a startup. These all schemes can be covered under government guarantee scheme. And for you, this is most important to know. And you should feel that it is my right. I am telling, as a banker I can tell you. देखो सबके, जिसके पास सब कुछ है ना, उसको देने के लिए सब जाता है. जिसके पास कुछ नहीं है, अगर उसको हमने सपोर्ट करके खड़ा किया ना, तो that is the achievement as a banker for me. So you have different guarantee schemes, that is CGFMU, that is CGSSI, that is CGSSS and CGTMSC. So different schemes are getting covered under different guarantee cover. So in general under CGTMSC, the loan up to 5 crore is being covered under the CGM-SME. Now see, if you have to avail loan 5 crore, CC, say example, what turnover you require? You require X multiplied by 20 or 25%. That is there. So if your turnover is 50 crore, so how much you will get? 20%, 10 crore. So 50% will be covered under the CGM-SME. So that you should know, that my 5 crore can be covered either on a standalone basis under CGM-SME or under hybrid security model. If you are giving security little bit, additional can be covered under CGM-SME. So that you have to take as a right, I am a banker telling, because I used to promote across the country, ki support the entrepreneurs who having vision, mission, plan under this scheme, and then economy will grow. बिकॉज सबके पास सिक्योरिटी नहीं है. एक बच्चा आईआईटी से पढ़ के बाहर निकलता है, उसके पास सिक्योरिटी नहीं है. और आपने नाम सुना होगा बंसल, 2 बंसल्स वर देयर हु प्रमोटेड फ्लिपकार्ट. आईआईटी दिल्ली से आया, उसके पास कुछ नहीं था, और फ्लिपकार्ट का हिस्ट्री आप सब जानते हैं. सो समवन सपोर्टेड, सम बैंक सपोर्टेड ना बंसल. तो लाइकवाइज बैंकर शुड हैव विजन टू सपोर्ट सच काइंड ऑफ द एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. दैट इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. Yes, vision, mission, plan should be clear. And under a startup, up to 10 crore loans are being given under guarantee cover. So general up to 5 crore and under a startup up to 10 crore. Then जो industry associations है urge, there is a need, जैसे रजनीश जी ने बताया कि there is the requirement of understanding the finance, accounting. That is also very much important, because bankers will ask you paper. Because bank will take decision on the basis of the paper, maybe the past turnover or maybe the projected turnover. If you have given projected turnover, then bankers will ask, okay, what is the logic behind the projection? So industry association having role here to play to educate these entrepreneurs. Because jiska scale bada ho gaya, that entrepreneurs can keep engage. I'll take 2 minutes more. Sure. So can engage the charter accountant, professionals, but entrepreneurs having the micro scale cannot engage, because they having not that much the margin profitability ki charter accountant professional separately. So industry association here playing role for the educating such kind of the entrepreneurs regarding the financing, accounting. And we banker also try to train entrepreneurs regarding these aspects. So I'll not reveal much on that, because tomorrow UCO Bank will launch that program officially. So you will come through the media, and such kind of the activity is required. If such kind of the activity will be taken care in the country, मुझे विश्वास है कि MSME को कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा. And being a banker, being the GM of UCO Bank, I can assure you, apart from these government schemes, because topic is access to finance and funding by banks. So I talked how you can get funding. So I talked about the government schemes first. अगर आपके पास सिक्योरिटी नहीं है तो you can utilize the window of the guarantee cover. And the last one, UCO Bank came up with several products. That is the customer-centric product, that is the bank-centric product. It having its own features. So recently we have launched the specific product for textile, the associates, the enterprises engaged in the textile business or equipment business, vehicle plying, and all such kind of the startup scheme we have come up with. So it will help the MSME entrepreneurs a lot if you get connected with the UCO Bank. And last, I'll suggest, there is a one platform, and it launched in the year 2019. And wherever I go, I used to speak on that. That is called the Trades Platform. I think some of you know name of the Trades Platform. But how many of you are using, I do not know. This is the platform that works. You will get finance digitally. So here, what is the requirement? All enterprises in the country, inclusive of central government enterprises, having the turnover 500 and above crore, mandatory to be onboarded on the platform. In India, under the license of the RBI, 3 operators are operating. That is RXIL, A-Trades, and RXIL, A-Trades, and M1 Exchange. And they are doing huge volume. I can quote that if outstanding balance I can take on 31st December around 29,000 crore balance in the public sector banks only on that platform funded. So it is seamless. Customer has to join, financer has to join, buyer will join. You are supplying something, some big, say you have supplied to Reliance Industries. Example. So normally once you supply any product to big corporate, it having its own policy in how many days you will get repayment. Here, if you supply through trades platform, if your bill got accepted by all stakeholders before 2 p.m., you will get payment in your account on same day. And if it is after 2 p.m., in the next working day. So I urge you all, please join. If you having the supply to the buyers and buyers available on the portal, you also join on the portal. And this is very, very good platform where you can get instant finance and at very competitive rate. अगर कोई onboard किया होगा तो मालूम होगा जो rate वहाँ मिलता है, you cannot imagine. और नहीं देखा है तो you can go and check. So that's all from my side in nutshell. So there is no dearth of access of the finance to MSMEs. And we bankers are here, there to support you wholeheartedly. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Shri Prem Shankar Jha. He gave a very elaborate explanation of the role of banks when it comes to accessing the funds and finances by especially the MSME sector. See, not only motivated all of us by saying that, you can dream, just like the Flipkart owners dreamt, and even if you don't have finance, there is government, there is central government, state government, and the banks who, in the forms of various schemes and support systems, will be catering to this facility of providing the financial backbone to the SMEs. He also talked about significantly about the trade portal, which again is very, very important for especially people on the supply side and of course on the demand side as well. So now a great, real great presentation by Shri Shankar Jha. I would now request Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee from ICRA Analytics to share his views about the access to finance and funding by banks and NBFCs and what kind of role these organizations like ICRA can play in the same. So, sir, is there a presentation? I think Jayanta sir has a presentation. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the privilege of speaking on this occasion for CMA. Really nice to see such a great gathering of people and a very, very topical subject on funding of SMEs, which has been very central to the growth of the economy. Speakers before me have elaborated on the various issues and the challenges which the sector is facing. Mr. Rajneesh Kumar talked about knowledge gap, and that is genuinely a very, very important gap which exists. And Mr. Jha as well talked about the various schemes which the government has made available and the TREDS platform. However, the access to that is not happening in the way perhaps which is required. Why is it not happening? Now, I'll just briefly take you through the way the credit has grown in India over the last few years. Now, if you see the orange line, it has been trending upwards, and there has been a very, very good growth in credit over the last 2 to 3 years in high teens. So that's something which really is very heartening, that the credit growth in the economy has been picking up quite well. And as you see, as of November 23, the credit outstanding has increased significantly to 156.2 lakh crore. That's quite significant. And a large part of that is actually the MSME segment. But despite this, there has been still a challenge in terms of flow of credit into this sector, and I'll come to the reasons for that. Now, if you see the micro and small, the medium and the large obviously is growing the fastest, but the yellow line, which is the micro and the small, is growing at the rate of between 5 and 7%, and the medium is growing slightly below that. Obviously, the problem area lies there. And the reason why that problem area is happening and what can we do to alleviate that problem is something that we need to discuss about here. This, of course, has been covered earlier in terms of what is the definition of MSME. So we'll come to the challenges faced by MSME. The biggest challenge is perception of high risk. And the important word here is perception. Many of the MSMEs that we have seen when we do our analysis, actually the business is very good, but somehow they are not able to present their case very well to the banks, which is what was also discussed by Mr. Rajneesh when he talked about knowledge gap. if they are only able to present their case in a way which actually makes a lot of sense to the bankers, in what are the bankers ultimately looking for? They are looking that their loan should be repaid, and as per the definition which is given by RBI, single day, single rupee delay is considered as a default. When this regulation came in April 2007, the Basel II regulations, there was a lot of hue and cry. Many of the entities we met felt that what is the problem in paying it on the 89th day? So many people used to pay it on the 89th day and think that it is fine. But as per RBI's regulation which came in, even if one day, 1 rupee delay is there, it will be considered as a default. That kind of discipline was needed to bring the system on track. And if you see the balance sheet of the banks which has come out now, it is much, much stronger than what it was maybe 10 years back. It is perhaps one of the best time for the banking sector in terms of very low NPAs, gross NPA, net NPA are trending at very low levels, credit growth is good, overall asset quality has improved significantly. This is possibly the best time when MSMEs can actually approach banks for lending. And this perception of high risk is that is something which needs to be corrected. And that is actually a knowledge gap which we feel can be corrected, and it's not a very difficult thing. MSMEs need to understand what exactly the bank is looking for and present the data in the right format. The other thing is inadequate collateral. That was also mentioned by some of the previous speakers, that collateral is an issue. There are schemes of the government where you can overcome that risk. Even if collateral is an issue, there are ways to overcome that through these schemes which are available to you, and you need to tap into those schemes. And there are banks which look at cash flow based lending rather than collateral based lending. So those are the areas where you need to tap into. Interest rate obviously is one risk. High interest rates which are charged are based on the ratings which you get. Okay, the ratings, and on the rating scale, if you move progressively higher, your interest rates will also start correcting. So you need to get into that scale, understand as to where you stand today, and what all you need to do to improve your rating over a period of time. And definitely those interest rates would be, banks would be very happy to lend you at rates which are in line with your credit risk that you carry on your balance sheet. One very important thing is timeliness of credit. Credit may be available, but if it doesn't come on the due date or when you need that credit, it may be of no use. So the timeliness of credit is getting addressed progressively by the banking segment. The turnaround time of proposals, my understanding is many banks are working to see that if the documents are in place, they would be able to give that credit in a timely manner, and that's very, very important for MSMEs to get timely credit. And the other 2 points in terms of lack of credit history, I think you need to build up your credit history over a period of time, same as it happens in CIBIL. Similarly, I think the rating history needs to be built up over time. So you need to enter the rating system in a way that you can actually show that over a period of time how you have steadily improved your credit. So these are the schemes which has already been talked about by the previous speakers, so I will not get into details of that. So what ICRA Analytics does in order to help flow of MSMEs credit into the industry is grading of those industries. So we do something called SME grading, and this grading report is something which covers 3 aspects of the business. One is the business risk, the second is the financial risk, and the third is the management risk. The third part is a qualitative aspect, but perhaps the most important in terms of the commentary that we give on the ability of the management to face the challenges in that industry, the governance and the systems, which obviously when you are starting up, it's not at that level, but we give a situation as to what it is now and where it is likely to be headed down the line. So that gives a pointer to the management that this is what is essential to give that comfort to the lender that you will get your money back in time. On business and financial risk, we look at a number of factors in terms of how the industry is doing, what kind of growth is that industry likely to see in future, and where is it headed, and how this particular SME is going to service. Someone made the point that most of these SMEs are supplying to large OEMs. One of the things we are seeing very actively is these large OEMs are approaching us that I have got so many vendors and I have got so many suppliers, and they are accessing credit at a rate which is significantly higher than the rate at which I am accessing. So that OEM may be accessing credit at 8, 9, 10%, whereas his vendors and suppliers may be accessing at 17, 18, 19%. So he's now telling us that why don't you give us a system of rating all these, and those ratings we'll submit to the bank. So we call it the vendor grading or the supplier grading system. Now, as and when those vendors and suppliers get graded, the banks take a lot of comfort that this is the grading of those suppliers or the vendors, and therefore there is a significant improvement we have seen in the interest rate. So this is the MSME grading that I was talking to you about, evaluating the SME, MSME and the final grade. And there are two types of reports that we do. One is the consent-based report and one is the non-consent-based report. Earlier, we only used to do the consent-based report. So the SME or the vendor or the supplier has to give a consent, give his data, only then we can do the report. But nowadays, with so much of metadata available in the overall economy, the GST data, the tax data, we are able to source that data through API links into our reports, and we are able to give, even without consent, a fairly detailed report which will be of very great help to the banker. And that is something which is gaining a lot of popularity because many SMEs are not in a position to give all the data. So even non-consent based reports have been very useful for the industry. If you look at this, what all the grading report will contain, it will have a rationale, it will have peer comparison across similar SMEs, it will have an early warning signal. As you know, RBI has made it very, very mandatory for EWS, and there are some 42 odd indicators which have been highlighted. So a lot of them are covered in our report even for SMEs. There is a legal check. Then we have a financial analysis where we look at 4 broad category of ratios, what we have mentioned here. Profitability ratio, that is EBITDA margin, net profit margin, ROCE, ROA. Then we look at leverage and coverage ratios, that is debt equity ratio, TOL to TNW, interest coverage, DSCR. We look at the liquidity ratio, current ratio, quick ratio, and then we look at the turnover ratios. All these ratios are looked at for the last 5 years, and we also do projections for the next 3 years. That helps the lender to get a comfort that, okay, this is where the particular financial of this company is lying, and this is where it is headed. And that gives a lot of access to credit which was earlier getting stuck. So this is one of the ways in which we are seeing some credit is flowing. Much more obviously needs to be done, and ICRA Analytics would be very, very happy to assist all SMEs who want to work with us to provide a report on their financials to the banking system, which will ease the credit flow into them. But we are very confident that this is one segment which, as someone also mentioned earlier, is the future of India in terms of growth, and it is very, very necessary that the liquidity or the cash flows into the system or the funding flow is strengthened so that the system can actually grow, the economy can grow on the backbone of these MSMEs. So thank you very much, and let's look forward to a stronger economy. Thank you.
A very interesting and lucid presentation by Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee. See, we understand that the debate about credit and credibility is something which has been there and will remain for a long, long time. But if you have the desire to having access to credit, of course, it is important to build your credibility. And as a matter of fact, he has given us very important hints, when it comes to the grading system, etc., as to which are the parameters based on which your credibility or your grading or your financial strength is judged. And I believe there comes in a very, very important role by a grading agency like ICRA, which plays a very important role in the overall financial ecosystem when it comes to developing and of course the growth and development of MSMEs. So thank you very much, Jayanta sir. It was a pleasure to in fact listen to your views and the way ICRA is, the role that ICRA plays in this overall ecosystem. As it is always said by almost everyone a long, long ago saying that, it's all about money, honey, when it comes to business. I think it's very important to understand how, this money flow or this access to money or finance is available through various financial institutions and banks. So before we part, of course, I would request Rajneesh ji to give his views about what SBI would like to say, the message that he has on behalf of SBI for all the SMEs here, and of course the SMEs who will be watching this program later on, and his parting comments.
Basically, that last slide, which was from Sir's, Jayanta Sir's, that is there I want to discuss something, because this is something, grading may not be possible for everyone to access, but at the same time, if my entrepreneur, my SME entrepreneurs are seeing something on that, If they see in their balance sheet what is TOL, TNW, what is current ratio, where I am, and what bank is looking for, and where that, see, a lot of things are there. मेरा capital है, unsecured loan को भी capital कहते हैं हम. And the moment it comes to TOL, it is becoming a liability, or a ratio is getting higher, and your rating is getting down. And once your rating is getting down, your cost of fund is getting higher. So these are the basics which even I request sir, एक बार आप दिखाएंगे तो we can discuss small things where we can be very well. Profitability should be there as well as वो 4 रेशियो में ही आपका सब कुछ छुपा हुआ है. 4-5 रेशियो दिए, उनमें से एक बड़ी चीज़ वो शायद ROC या रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल वो सब नहीं भी हुआ. आपको प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी अपनी पता है कि मैं अगर इतना पैसा लगाता हूँ इतना प्रॉफिट होता है, पेपर पे ये आ रहा है. अपने बैंकर से पूछिए कि क्या ये मेरे रेटिंग में क्या इंप्रूवमेंट लाएगा प्रॉफिट्स को. सेम वे मेरा लोन टोटल आउटसाइड लायबिलिटी इतनी है, मेरा कैपिटल इतना है, क्या मैं इसमें से कुछ कैपिटल में करूँ. बहुत सारे लोग कंपनीज में हैं, कंपनीज अपनी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी है, बट उसमें अनसिक्योर्ड लोन पड़ा हुआ है कि पेड अप कैपिटल इज समवेयर अराउंड 1 करोड़ और अनसिक्योर्ड लोन 1.5 करोड़ का पड़ा हुआ है. उसमें से आधा करोड़ भी अगर आप 50 लाख भी इधर लेके आते, your whole ratio will be changing like anything. Small understanding which I want every SME should be knowing, and they should be discussing these things with their banker wherever they are banking. Schemes are there, बहुत सारी schemes हैं. सर ने जैसे यूको बैंक में सर ने GM सर ने बताया है आपको कि there are a lot of schemes from 10,000 PM Sonidhi to everything. Startups के लिए different funding है, guarantee schemes है. Even if you have got collateral, how to utilize your collateral to get cheaper funds. In SBI, up to 25 crore, if 100% collateral coverage is there, those loans has got 2% less rate of interest on the rating. 50% collateral coverage is there. If 5 crore loan, 2-2.5 crore की collateral security आपके पास है, चाहे factory की हो या land and building, there is 1% less in that. Totally. So we need to see, my credibility is good. Why to pay cost of CGTMSE if I am having collateral with me, if I can leverage this for my problem, because this is a cost. See, there is a cost, and there are different schemes where you can leverage. Stand Up India, there everybody can get covers in different schemes. And PMEGP, there are 15% to 35% subsidies there. So we need to understand that whenever we are going for proposals, our funding, we need to talk with them. Bankers ki kya hai? And in SBI, we have got almost everywhere 87 RMSME, Relationship Manager for MSME funding. That is more than 50 lakh funding. They are taking care. And they are almost in all district places, taluka places, they are based. There is one SME branch where they are placed. Other branches are taking care of retail business, but these RMSME are properly trained and they are aware of the need as well as your need as well as bank's requirement how to go for this. So they are properly trained. 88 RMSME in West Bengal only. They are taking care of business, and their branch heads are here. My few branch heads are also representing this forum here. They have come from the bank to meet you guys and tell you that we are here to support you. Same way, Trades platform is really good platform where you can discount your bills. जो भी corporates there onboarded है, उनके साथ आप भी onboard होके you can discount your bill at very cheaper rate. So financing is not a issue at all. It's all how you present your papers, which is for that. If you know your business, try to know your business balance sheet also, business papers also. थोड़ा सा, बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है, but you need to understand your papers. Then only you will be able to talk. And if for that, our banker friends, our banker relationship managers are there. Less than 50 lakh, we have got 49 places, centers where processings are being happen. Branch के through आप जा सकते हैं directly. SME CC center or retail asset centers are there, where we are across the state. This is across the state, 49. So we need to access properly, means we need to approach proper place and ask about your papers, how can improve myself. In my career, I have in MSMEs funding, I have just tried to improve everyone, who's are come to improve your balance sheet and your rate of interest in 2 or 3 year tenor, they have gone down to 3% less from earlier one. So this is something which you need to talk with the bankers. You need to understand your balance sheet. A bit of balance sheet understanding will give you more insight about MSME funding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So in fact, he has given his last message. Rajneesh sir has said that, SBI will go all out to support the MSME sector. So I would request Shri Prem Shankar Jha also, sir, your final message to the MSMEs through this forum.
I'll suggest only one thing, because I spoke almost the opportunity available to you, I covered. One thing I'll suggest, as Jayanta also quoted during the presentation, nowadays even not only UCO Bank, even SBI and other public sector banks not seeking the external rating up to 25 crore funding and more even also. So now SBI 50 crore, UCO Bank 25 crore, और जो आप एंटरप्रेन्योर बैठे हैं बहुत कम होंगे इसमें, हार्डली 5% जिसकी फंडिंग मोर देन 25 करोड़ की होगी, इफ़ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, और काफ़ी सारे यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स भी हैं पीछे, तो यू हैव रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द स्मॉल फंडिंग्स। तो 25 करोड़ तक तो एक्सटर्नल रेटिंग नहीं लगती है। माई सजेशन टू यू, बिकॉज नाउ बैंक्स आर वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट योर सिविल स्कोर एंड CMR रैंक। अगर आप MSME हैं तो CMR रैंक हम आपका देखते हैं, एंड आपका पर्सनल हम सिविल स्कोर या क्रिफ स्कोर देखते हैं। एंड nowadays the ROI being the fix on the basis of these scores also. Even हमने तो अपने बैंक में फुल्ली ये अप्लाई कर दिया है, तो इफ़ यू हैव गुड स्कोर यू विल गेट गुड ROI। मतलब आप इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते इतना कम्पिटिटिव ROI हम आपको ऑफर करेंगे। सो माई अर्ज टू यू ऑल दैट, जब कभी भी आप फंडिंग लेते हैं तो इस चीज़ को ध्यान रखिए कि मुझे टाइमली पे करना है। जो बोरोइंग्स है, अगर उसको आप बोरोइंग समझ लिए और अगर आपने टाइमली रिपे किया, योर स्कोर यू विल इंक्रीज। एंड आप देखेंगे उसके बाद जब आपने, इफ़ यू आर गुड पे मास्टर, बैंकर्स विल बी बिहाइंड यू कि आपको मैं दूसरा वेंचर लेके आइए, अगर आपकी बिजनेस ग्रोथ होगी आई विल गिव यू इनहेंस फंडिंग। तो मेरा अर्ज है और सजेशन भी है कि आप जो सिविल स्कोर और CMR पर ध्यान रखें और इसको इम्प्रूव करके रखिए, तो आई डू नॉट बिलीव कि यू विल फाइंड एनी हिंड्रेंस इन गेटिंग द फंडिंग। एंड कैश फ्लो की बात उन्होंने किया, नाउअडेज बैंक इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स कैश फ्लो ऑल्सो। तो ट्रांजैक्शन अगर आप रेगुलर करते हैं, यू आर मीटिंग योर ऑब्लिगेशन, तो कैश फ्लो में वो कैप्चर होगा, और कैश फ्लो में जब कैप्चर होगा तो बैंकर्स हैविंग द कंफर्ट टू फंड यू। अभी हम लोग तो प्रोडक्ट ले आए हैं कैश फ्लो बेस्ड लेंडिंग की, इवन वी आर गोइंग टू लॉन्च द टोटली STP प्रोडक्ट, स्ट्रेट थ्रू प्रोसेस प्रोडक्ट। आपको बैंक में आना ही नहीं है, हमारे पोर्टल में वेरी सुन विल लॉन्च, अब वर्क इज गोइंग ऑन, टेक्निकल कन्फिग्रेशन चल रही है, तो उसमें आपको जाना है मेरे पोर्टल में, आप सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन डालिए, हमारा API इंटीग्रेशन है डिफरेंट सोर्सेज से, वो चेक कर लेगा, ऑटो वैलिडेट कर लेगा, एंड इफ योर ऑल इन्फॉर्मेशन इज करेक्ट, आपका लोन ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे फिजिकल लेवल में अकाउंट खुलेगा, वहाँ डिस्बर्स हो जाएगा। इवन डॉक्यूमेंटेशन भी NECL के थ्रू ऑनलाइन हो जाएगी आधार बेस्ड ऑथेंटिकेशन से, तो इवन यू हैव नॉट टू विजिट बैंक ब्रांच। सो कैश फ्लो पर ध्यान दीजिए, और जब आप कैश फ्लो पर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, आप कैश ट्रांजैक्शन ये सब करते हैं, व्हाट्स एवर द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट, तब जो है जो लेंडर हायर रेट में, जैसे कोट किया जयंतो जी ने, हायर रेट में आपको लेंड करता है क्योंकि आप इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं प्रोवाइड कर पाते हैं। सो माई 2 सजेशंस इन द लास्ट, वन थिंग, आप अपने सिविल CMR पर ध्यान दें, और दूसरा आप अपने कैश फ्लो पर ध्यान दें। थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Thank you so much, Prem Shankar Jha. Very, very valid point of suggestion to all the MSMEs. You focus on your credibility and we'll take care of the credit. Great, Mr. Shankar Jha. Just one more request from Mr. Jayanta Chatterjee. He has already given a very elaborate presentation, but any final message that you would like to put forward to the MSMEs through this forum?
Thank you, Vibhor ji. I think what is the problem with entrepreneurs which they face in getting the funding? One of the issues is that it is sometimes that they are the only person running the show. They have very less manpower. So it is very difficult for them to make documents and present to bank, run after them and get the money and all that. So the way the world of finance is moving, something was also mentioned by Mr. Jha and also by Mr. Rajneesh, that funding will become, you don't have to go to bank. You have to just sit at your home and keep your documents in shape, okay? Just keep your audited accounts, your tax documents all in place. You just have to upload on the portal. Day will come when you don't have to even go to the bank. It's not very far. India is actually one of the most advanced on digital technology. We are far, far ahead of the West, I will say, in digital. So day is not far when you don't have to go to the bank. You will actually get the loan sitting at your home, but your documents have to be pakka. And that documentation is what I would urge you to keep in shape, because sometimes it is a feeling that if I don't disclose, then no one will know the truth about my business. Days are coming when more disclosure is actually better, because the more clarity the banker has, good or bad, he will be able to guide you properly. That this is where the problem is. This is what you need to correct. So keep documents in shape, keep all your filings in place, and consider the banker as a friend, and you will definitely get funding, which is the right funding at the right rate for you. That was my thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very important suggestions from Mr. Chatterjee. Thank you so much. And I'm really, really happy to be part of this esteemed panel here today, who has put forward, very valid suggestions, in addition to highlighting how MSMEs can really access finance and funding from not only banks, but financial institutions. And thank you so much to all our esteemed guests who have put forward their views across on this panel and educated the MSMEs about how they can really look forward to finance, solving the issue, the core issue which is behind the growth and development of the MSME sector, which is access to finance. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir.
So thank you for this amazing session. Now I would request Mr. Vibhor Tandon to please honor our guests by giving them a memento and a bouquet on behalf of CMA. भाई फंड्स चाहिए तो तालियां जोर से बजा सकते हैं हम लोग. सो ऐसा है, अगर आप भी वही फीलिंग्स रीइटरेट करते हैं जो इतनी सुंदर सेशन के बाद मैं फील कर रही हूँ, सब बैंकर्स ने ऐसा लग रहा है कि हमारे हौसलों को एक पर दे दिया है, इसलिए मन में ये फीलिंग आ रही है. कौन कहता है ए आसमां, कौन कहता है ए आसमां हम तुझे छू नहीं सकते, कौन कहता है ए आसमां हम तुझे छू नहीं सकते, शुक्र कर कि हमने अभी शुरुआत नहीं की है. So thank you for this, and on behalf of CMA, I would request Ina Bose ma'am to please come and felicitate Mr. Vibhor Tandon for moderating the session so well. So,
Last thing,
yes.
I want to say that, yeah, MSME, I am here heading MSME division for whole West Bengal and Sikkim and Andaman. So I am heading this division and I have got big team for this. I'm telling my number. If any issues, you can ping me up, message me. I'll connect you to the right person wherever it is. In any part of Bengal, he will be able to help you. My number is 77388 77388 99412. I'm Rajneesh Kumar, heading this MSME division of State Bank of India for State Kolkata Circle. Thank you.
So, can you imagine a banker giving his phone number in public? This actually shows the commitment and the sincerity that the bankers are having to help and support the MSMEs today. So friends, let's use this platform, let's use this and move on the journey of acceleration together with all of the partners. Thank you so much, sir.
The way we are supporting MSME, तो एक कहावत है ना, एक पत्थर तबीयत से उछालो यारो, तो आप कनेक्ट होइए तो आपको पता चलेगा पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक आज के डेट में एमएसएमई को कैसे सपोर्ट कर रही है. इवन वी हैव SME loan processing hub at here in central Kolkata in Bhawanipur Education Society building. So if anyone is requirement can approach there. I am sitting at HO 10 Birbon Road में मेरा head office है. Anyone आप आते हैं, welcome है, you come. If I am in office, आपको निराश लौट के नहीं जाना पड़ेगा. मैं ऑफिस में हूँ तो मैं सबसे मिलता हूँ.
सर, हम लोग की ऑडियंस ऐसे ही बहुत मेस्मराइज्ड हो गई है आप लोग के डेलिब्रेशन से. अब हम लोग का जो नेक्स्ट सेशन है